Hey guys, it's Tracy, Kansas Gardener here. Thought I'd do a short little video after the, I guess, winter blast storm we had on Sunday. Many of you guys are subscribers from Kansas, so you know that we had this great, phenomenal 70, 80 degree weather for the last like week and a half. And then yesterday, of course, it's Kansas, so we got the bottom knocked out of it and went from like 65, 70 degrees here to 30 degrees in like 30 minutes when that cold front came down from the north. And well, anyway, I hope all of you guys fared well with the wind. I know I was out here 3 or 4 times in the garden yesterday, just moving all my frost barrier around because the wind. I mean, they said it was up to gusting 50 miles an hour out here, and man, it was blowing my wind cover or my row cover all over the place. So I was out here in the hail and everything trying to get the row covers back on so it didn't ruin my peas and my snap peas and stuff like that. But I figured since it was kind of nice, and it's about, I don't know, probably 50 right now. Still a little chilly, but I thought I'd take you a little walk through and kind of show you what I've got going on, or what I did. As you can see, I've got frost cover on everything I've got. This is my garlic. You guys notice my garlic and my onion sets in here. They're starting to croup over the top because this thing's pretty tight. So I just put a half cut out barrel right there so I could kind of keep it off the plants as much as possible. And of course, this is my carrots here. I've got them all stapled down, or I would show you. They're growing about 1 inch tall now. I'm gonna have to, when it starts getting nicer where I can keep this off at night, I'm gonna have to thin some of these carrots out. I put them in pretty thick. Oh no, that broke. Well, my wife's not gonna be happy about that. She just bought this a couple days ago to put in the garden, and it's got LEDs in it. She's not gonna be very happy about that. Something must have hit it from yesterday in the storm. But now, unfortunately, they all came up. So now I have to go through and thin those out. But anyway, I can kind of show you guys my peas and stuff. As you can see, by ingenious frost cover, they're about 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch tall, some of them 1.5 inches. So to keep the cover from sitting on it, so when it rained, it didn't freeze onto the plants and kill them anyway, I took some wire that I had, just that welded wire, the 2x4 welded wire I used to make those cages with. And I just actually, as you can see here, well, this one came out. I just actually used it to kind of give it a base to kind of hold this fabric up. As you can see, my little marbles, they survived, so which is a good thing. Looks like I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work to these cages here to keep these up. But anyway, but it looks like everything survived. I came out here this morning and double checked. You can see there's another little pea right there. A couple others there. So it looks like everything survived, which is good. The hail we had out here, our hail wasn't very big out here. It was about the size of a quarter. Very, very lucky. But me and my wife were out here running around trying to get the frost. The wind was blowing the covers off, like I said, and we were trying to get out here. We were getting nailed with hail and everything, but that's what you do. Take care of your babies, right? So I'm just gonna end the video here by walking into my, as you can see on the side of my house here, we've got a extended porch area with windows, and it's not heated, but it is insulated. It's got 60, 65. That doesn't matter. I brought my potatoes in. As you can see, they're starting to come up very good. All of them are. These are my red potatoes here, my red Norlands, and then in my white buckets I've got Yukon Golds. As you can see, they're starting to come up very nice now. So it starts warming up. This week is supposed to be all in the high 20s and low 30s all week for the lows, but like 50s and 60s during the day. So I may bring these out during the day, let them sit for 2 or 3 hours, and then bring them back in. I just don't want them to freeze. I left it out for the first freeze we had a couple weeks ago, and it literally burnt all my plants. I was afraid I was going to lose them. I talked to a couple of you guys on my Kansas gardening websites, and you guys said whatever falls off, they'll grow back, and you guys were right. But they did grow back, so that's a good thing. I've got my marigolds And I gave away a bunch, but I just started putting them in pots because we're just going to set these pots around the garden, and then my wife's going to plant the other 30 or 40 or whatever we have still left to go. See, we've got some here, got some over there. But anyway, my little contraption that I made, I just got a couple, like I said, in this room, I've got hooks in the ceiling here, and I moved my seed starting tower out here now to try to harden these things off just a little bit. The peppers and my basil have been out here for 2 weeks now, and they look great. I had them, you know, like I said, I feed them with this Fox Farm right now, and then later on I'll be feeding them with some 8-10-8, and then some Tomato Secret is what I put in the holes when I do the tomatoes. But anyway, they greened up out here, and I just got a couple cheap $10 shop lights from Walmart I've got hanging here on string, just a foot off the plants, and as you can see, it's doing great. My basil's doing phenomenal. These are all my peppers here, all my habaneros, my West Indies red habaneros. They're growing great. As you can see, they look really good. They just sit out here, and like I said, I bottom water once a week, just enough so they can get a little bit of nutrients. These are West Indies here. I like my hot peppers. So most of my peppers are hot. The only cold peppers I have are mini bell peppers because my wife loves bell peppers. But I could eat hot peppers and they don't bother me. It's a weird deal. But so I've got this tray here of mini bells for my wife. Everything else that I've got, the other 60, 70 pepper plants, they're all West Indies habanero, Hungarian hot waxes, a type of jalapeno. I can never remember the name of it. I gave some away earlier in the week. Oh, Craig's Grande jalapenos. They're the ones you can make big poppers out of and stuff. But just to show you my tomatoes, here's my Romas. And then over here, I've got my Better Boys. And I'm going to have to either up pot these in some compost just to keep them going for another month or so. Or I'm going to start giving these away and just doing some more seeds. But we haven't got that far yet. I've got some black cherries. As you can see, my black cherries up here. I've got a box full of those. I think what I did was I did 16 of each kind. So I did like 16 Romas, 16 Better Boys, 16 black cherries, 16 large cherries, 16 black Krim, 16 Cherokee Purple. Here's my black Krim there and some Cherokee Purples in there. And then I got my red cherries over here, and then I've got 72 Bella Roses. I got these from Haas Tools. I subscribe to a channel called Cog Hill Farm that I watch, and, you know, of course, we all watch Haas and stuff, and Bella Roses is what Jason from Cog Hill grows, and they love them, and Haas Tool brags about these Bella Roses. So you can see they're getting really leggy, so these are going to have to get transplanted quick, but hopefully I can keep them in here, keep them watered, keep them good and strong and fed long enough that I can get these in the ground. But I got 72 of them. Every one of my seeds came up, so I've got 72 of those. And then there's my large cherries, of course. And I started more cucumbers and squash and zucchini because I lost all the ones that I did have. So I just started another tray of them. As you can see here, that's all my cantaloupe. This whole 72 cantaloupes of Ambrosia, Hale's Best, and Athena. So I got 72. Well, actually, I'm missing some there, so I got a little bit over 60 cantaloupe plants. And then I've got my squash. Pull this out and you can see them. I've got my squash, Market More 76 cucumbers, Muncher cucumbers, patty pan squash, Black Beauty zucchini, and some straight neck squash yellow, just some generic yellow straight neck squash. I've got those going there. And then down here, I've got all my watermelons going. So I've got this seed starting tray. It's got Charleston Gray and Crimson Sweet. So I've got 36 Crimson Sweet and 36 Charleston Gray. And I noticed I had some spots that have not germinated yet. And I've got some, as you can see, that little baby back there getting ready to pop up. So hopefully these will germinate. And I can get all these. If not, I grew another 36 of Charleston Gray to make the spot up. As you can see out my window there, that plot right there is a 40 by 100, or I'm sorry, 40 by 75 plot. That is going to be my watermelon plot. So that's why I grew so many watermelons, and I've got a 40 by 50 that's going to be a cantaloupe plot on the other side. Hopefully you all fared well from the frost and the storm from yesterday and the wind. Man, the wind was crazy here. But that's what I've got going on here on my little part of the state. Hopefully everything's good with you guys. Try to stay healthy, and I'll talk to you guys. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you this. My wife's pretty proud of this. I had a basil plant in here from last year, and I pulled it out, and she had this idea where she saw something on Pinterest or something where you could take a celery stalk and put it in the ground and bury it and it'll grow. And I was like, oh, okay, I know you could do that with onions and all kinds of stuff. So she did it with a celery, and look at that little baby celery growing. It's pretty cool. Basically can grow seeds in anything, egg cartons to toilet paper rolls to anything, Tupperware bowls, red Solo cups. You can do anything. And you don't need heating pads. You can just put them in a nice warm windowsill that's got constant heat in your house, and eventually they will sprout. Anyway, that's what I got going on in my part of the state, and hopefully everything's good with you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks, bye. 갑자기 내게 나타나준 너, 난 아무 말도 할 수가 없어.